So I'm Jason Vandenberg. I'm the creative director of Red Steel 2.
And I'm David Rochedew, and I'm currently a gunplay programmer on Red Steel 2.
He writes the AI.
Ah.
Yeah.
Super great. So when I first played Red Steel 1, I was at the same time very, very excited, right? And frustrated in the same moment, right? Because it was so clear as a player. I wasn't a member of the Red Steel 1 team originally, and so as a player, it was such a delightful game that had so many cool things to offer. But there was a layer of polish that was missing. It was clear that the team didn't have the time that they needed, even just looking at it from an outside observer. And if you look at the fans and sort of what people talk about Red Steel 1, it's still people have a real affection for that game, and that's delightful, right?
It was.
Yeah, and that's I think why we're here. Why we're here is because people really loved it. They really loved to have they loved what was done there, and they wanted to see more. They wanted to see the potential of the Wii fully realized. So, and we're delighted to have that chance.
Okay. What's your thought about Red Steel 1?
My personal thought.
Have you played?
I was really waiting for the title. I wasn't working at Ubisoft yet, and so I was really excited because it was the first FPS on the Nintendo Wii, and for that reason, I had a really great time playing that game. And but as Jason said, I was a little bit frustrated too. I wanted maybe more in terms of sword combat and everything. So. I was expecting a second opus, and hopefully I worked on it.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Favorite scene?
Yeah. Come on, don't be shy.
No, I can tell you, but it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. I can't do that. It's the scene. It's the scene that plays at the end of the boss fight with Pain. I think the first boss fight in the game. The first boss is named Pain. I think you have the trailer for Pain on your site there, and the way that scene finishes out, I just find it personally delightful. I think he just never really gives up. That guy, he's just a pain in the ass until the very end. So
Great. And your favorite scene?
I would say, like Jason, it would be a spoiler in a way, but my favorite part, I think this is not a particular scene, but maybe an ability that the player will have, later in the game, so you will be able maybe to, I don't know, can I say? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, you will be able to lift people in the air and maybe, do stuff with them, and it's really rewarding and you feel like a real strong man.
Oh, great.
That's my favorite part.
So the look that you see here is something that was always the ambition of our art director, Stefan Beschle, is the answer to your question. Stefan had been working on the technology and the approach and the vision for this particular style of cel shading, because it's not traditional cel shading what we're doing. It's much more of a graphic novel approach. It's a lot more textured and detailed than a lot of the cartoon games that you see out there. We're not at all in that mode. Stefan did a great job, I think, of bringing that together, him and his team. And so it was something that he began after Red Steel 1 finished, immediately after it finished, and has been working on kind of ever since then. So when I came onto the team, I had the great fortune of coming to me and saying, hey, this is what I'd like to do, and I just said, sweet, cool, let's do that. And so it was pretty straightforward. Really, the answer is through practice and trial and error, and polish and polish and polish and polish and polish. Our lead designer, Roman Campos Oriola, has been working on the game. He was again part of the Red Steel 1 team and has been working on what works and what doesn't for Wii controls pretty much since Red Steel, well, I mean, since the beginning of Red Steel 1. And he was dissatisfied with the result of Red Steel 1 and wanted to take it even further. And so he was able to spend, you know, a good chunk of his effort over the course of this development cycle really refining and finding out what really works and what doesn't. Studied every game out there that has been used first-person controls, Wii-based or not, really focused down on what makes good first-person controls function, and then found just exactly the right balance for all those things that work for us. The Wii Motion Plus integration was a real challenge. It was a huge amount of work.
What do you think about the Wii Motion Plus?
It's really.
I mean, it's the first.
It's a cool piece of hardware. You know, the Wiimote was really great, but with the Wii Motion Plus, we're able to do, you know, really things better in terms of, you know, navigation. We don't lose the pointer when we get off screen. For slash detection, this is really precise. We can have, you know, one-to-one true replication. So and even in terms of, you know, slash strength feelings. It helps a lot, so we are really happy with the piece of hardware. Thanks, Nintendo.
It made the game. It made the game possible.
Yeah.
Right? So it's,
And what do you think about the upcoming PlayStation 3 Arc Wand, whatever?
The wand. It's exciting. I think
exciting.
it's really it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be part of the industry. I think that motion control is a really interesting concept for us to be exploring. I mean, we have learned firsthand how complex it can be to create an intuitive interface that works for everyone, you know, using these kinds of motion controls. So, I mean, you know, good luck, guys, you know, really Microsoft, you know, Sony, really, you know, it's, do it well. But I am really very, very interested in the technology. I think it's, you know, I've said it before, I would love to see and be a part of the development of sword fighting games on you know, any of those platforms. As far as what's going to happen with Red Steel, we don't. You know, Red Steel 2 is we own the game, and we're going to see, you know, how well it does and what happens afterwards before we make any decisions about what we're doing next.